Hey guys, welcome back to DTTV. It is craft week and we are going to be doing an exciting painting craft today. So what we're going to be trying to make is something that looks like this. And this is just a canvas and it's got a lot of different shapes. One could call it an abstract piece, which means that it's it's interpretive. You decide what the meaning is based on how you feel when you look at it, which is really fun. And honestly, it's just really fun to paint. And I hope that you guys enjoy making this. You need a paint. So right here I've got 3 colors of paint and they are all different kinds of red colors, but I will point out that you only need a little glob of each one. You shouldn't need too much paint for this because we're kind of looking for some texture. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. Another thing you're gonna need is tape. And some of these we are going to have pre-taped so that it's easier for you guys, but for others we will have the canvas out and you will get to choose exactly how you like to place the tape. You will need scissors for the tape, some sponge paint brushes, although you could really use anything to put down these colors. Saran wrap, any kind of plastic, if you dab that on there, it will work out perfectly. You could use paper towels. It's up to you and how you want to make your art piece. So I've already done some of the taping. As you can see here, I just kind of marked out some spaces that I liked. So it's kind of like the one that we already have done, except for when you peel off the tape, that's when you will have the shapes. So this one I already kind of started working on. I'm going to add a couple more shapes to it just to make sure that we've got a lot of room for a lot of colors. But there we go. And for this, I'm probably going to cut a little piece like this. And take your scissors, and on your scissors, you've got your piece of tape. And for this part, I am going to tape it across it. So what I've done is I just made this line right here. So we have some more shapes in there. And these shapes don't have to be perfect. It is literally anything that you would like. It's how you want to make your piece look, and it is completely up to you guys. So we've got our tape pieces on there. And another thing about the tape pieces are you are going to want to make sure that that tape is pressed on there really well. So because if we start painting in between here and the tape isn't on all the way, then the paint can kind of start dripping through, and then when you take off these, it's not going to be the clean line that you want for this. So make sure that your tape is pressed down as much as it possibly can be for this. So we're going to get started. First step is, well, technically the first step is putting on the tape, but when we start painting it, you are only going to need a little bit, like I had mentioned before. So we're gonna just start with this red color. I think this is a really nice color. And what you're going to do is you are going to start dabbing that on. So any way you like, just get that color on there. And It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to color within the lines. If you get some paint on your tape, that is completely fine because we are peeling the tape off. But try not to get it in any of your other shapes because then your colors, they might start bleeding a little bit, and that isn't, unless you're going for that, then that's probably not what we're trying to do. So I already got one filled in, and you can see it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be completely one full solid color. Part of this is being able to make all the different kind of textures and looks that you possibly want with this. And I think part of completely painting it solid kind of takes away from that texture. Of course, if you would prefer to do it that way, then that is absolutely fine because this is your art piece, not mine. Well, this is mine, but you know what I mean. And so we are gonna go only one color at a time. When you guys are doing this, you probably not want more than 3 colors, so you pick out 3 colors that you really like, that you think will look together on your art piece. And for this one, I thought that some reds and pinks would be really nice. I think that it would be really cool to kind of see them next to each other, but see like the differences and where the tape is going to be torn off, and it's going to look super cool regardless. And so we've got our first kind of shapes colored in, and yes, it does not look perfect, but as I've said before, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's your art piece. Okay, so the next color that we're gonna go into is this really kind of like purplish red color. I really, really like this color. If you can see, it's really pretty. And I'm just gonna go in with this color and just stamp it on there. And I think that having the different textures together, it all just kind of brings it together, and it gives it more personality, I feel like. And part of this project is just to unleash your personality, you know? Pick some of your favorite colors that you really enjoy. And even though it is craft week, I mean, you could do this anytime, but this is something that anyone can do. And then it turns out so nicely as soon as you take off the tape, and you'd think that a professional had made it. What I'm saying here is I think I need a little bit more of paint. So I'm gonna go grab. So this is the color. Just gonna put some more down there just so I have enough to finish off these shapes. Some like parts of it, if you would like, you can make some parts darker than other parts. Like you're still going to be using the same colors, but you can use those colors differently depending on how you want it to look. Maybe you're using a color like this and you want to make it a little darker on one shape compared to a different shape. I completely encourage that. Do that. It's going to look super cool, and that again will just give it some more personality, which is what this whole thing is about, having fun and showing your personality through art. I'm gonna put this in one more square, and then we're going to move on to our last color. Never know what it's really gonna look like until that tape comes off of it, and that's the fun part. If your canvas is already dry ahead of time, then you can take off your tape, but you really do not want to take off your tape unless your paint is dry, because if it isn't fully dry, you may have an issue with your paint starting to go in the spots where it's supposed to be white, and we don't want that unless you do want that. But for the purposes of this, probably not going to want that. So here is our canvas so far. So you're going to put this paint color everywhere else in your different boxes that have not been colored in yet. So I think that this is going to look beautiful. Okay, so you may again need a bit more paint. It's better to work your way up to it than putting too much, because if you put too much, then it is more easily going to start spreading into your other shapes, and that is not what we want to do. That's why we have the tape there, to kind of be a little area where we can know that that is going to turn out white, and that's going to be our edges. So I'm going to get a little bit more of this red paint. I'm going to put some more paint down and top that off. And I only put a little bit more of the paint. So we can take that, and of course, this is kind of one of the things where you have to trust the process. You know, it's not going to look as beautiful as the final picture until you take off those pieces of tape. Just don't get discouraged. This is your art. Who says that your art has to stand up to anyone else's expectations? You know, this is for you. So do what you like at the end of this. And let's see. We have one more. Loving the way that this is coming together. I think that is coming out really nice. And you can even take your paintbrushes and kind of go back on the spots that are looking a little bit blotchy. If you have any kind of, like, you can see some of the white under it. If you just want to just put like a tiny bit more on there, but this is completely up to you. If you like the way it looks, then just keep it the way you like it. So once you finish putting all the colors down, this is what it looks like. So we went from a blank canvas to this. And I know that this doesn't look the most beautiful in the world, but that's what the fun part comes to. We get to rip off this tape. So what I'm gonna do is you're gonna want to wait on this. I'm going to set this aside and let it dry. I've let this sit for a little bit, and I'm just gonna start peeling off the tape. So Ooh, our painting is looking good. And here is the final result. So this is super easy to make, super easy. We just need the tape, the paint, the brushes, and some scissors and a canvas. And you could easily make yourself a lovely painting. You can hang it up here in DT. You can bring it home, maybe hang it in your room. Or it could even be a piece that you could put out in your living room or living area. So yeah, I hope you guys have as much fun as I did when creating this. And I can't wait to see what everyone makes. So we'll see you. Thank you guys so much. Bye.